Robert White here to share some ideas potentially useful to leaders. People in social situations have asked me, what do mentors actually do? And my response is, I am an interruption. I interrupt patterns and communicate insight into attitudes, habits, and behaviors. You can learn more at therobertwhite.com. Hopefully this brief talk will be a valuable interruption for you. During other programs in this series, I address many issues, many where I've had some success personally, or I've learned from failure. My intention is to do what I can to share my experiences so that people leading organizations can be more effective, be more free to support their families, have more fun, produce better results. And now I want to warn you that what's going to follow is not every possible mistake. Far from that fantasy land. I've made hundreds of expensive and painful mistakes. It'd take weeks to share all of my learnings. I chose 3, though, that I've personally experienced, and more importantly, I noticed my clients struggling to surmount and learn from. So here goes. First one is that the fallacy that if you build it, they will come. A truly great product or service that can't get sold is frustrating to the max, and it's expensive. Excellence in marketing, manufacturing, a solid administrative support, systems, and also navigating the thicket of government regulations is just the beginning of what it takes to succeed. But believing that you just have to build a great product or service, that's all you need to do, that's a fallacy. Your team, especially your beginning team, must be F.A.C. That's an acronym for focused, aligned, and committed. So let's deal with focus first. In my company, ARC International, where we dealt with some very large companies, we always started with an interview with the CEO. And what we did was to discover the distinction between the CEO's sense of his organization or her organization versus the reality. And the CEO would say, yep, our people are focused. They know what's going on here. But we'd go out and interview the top 20 people, and we'd find out that there were 20 different versions of the focus. So there was a lot of learning that came to us from that. But your top team particularly must be focused. Alignment starts with being aligned to purpose, vision, and values, and your strategic intent. If those are kind of foreign terms to you, find my program about the big arrow and get a beginning of how to dig into that powerful tool. And finally, committed. And when I say committed, I'm talking about out of their minds commitment, a willingness to do whatever is necessary to accomplish the goals. Your team, because they're human beings first, often do not walk their talk and may have wildly different reasons than you for being there in your company. Maybe they're just working for a paycheck. Maybe there's some recognition. Maybe there's a new job ahead for them, and you're just a staging ground for that. Beginning leaders often have to wear many hats. And remember this, the leader's only unique role is to facilitate the creation, the communication, and the enforcement of a common purpose, vision, values, and strategic intent for the organization. All else can and should be delegated. Now, I wonder who said that wonderful saying. Well, it happened to be me, Robert White. And I'm making time in my schedule for brief, result-oriented conversations where I'll support you and your organization. Go to therobertwhite.com/events to get the details.